My mouth is burning. I am in pain. I'm sweating. I feel like I'm eating, but I'm losing calories because I'm sweating.
You're sweating it all out.
Yeah. Right? Sorry, I feel like my throat's cold.
Gone wrong.
I'm scared.
Gone section.
Jared, do you want a banana? I have banana.
Done.
Wait,
What's up, guys? I'm Abhi Bhandari, and you're watching The Signal's Hot Ones, the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And here I am joined with our guest, Derek Nhieu. Derek, how you doing?
I'm tired and I'm hungry.
Ready to eat some wings? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's dive into this first one. So Derek, for those of you that don't know you, every question that every Penn student likes to hear. What's your name? What are you studying? Where are you from?
Sure. So, of course, my full name is Derek Nhieu. I'm studying organizational management and social impact and consumer psychology in Wharton. I'm from Orlando, Florida.
Let's dive into this one. Okay. So, more questions that Penn students love to hear. What are you involved in on campus?
I'm pretty much involved in almost every aspect of student life, except for performing arts. I'm not quite good enough.
Dancer, huh?
No, I don't know how to sing or dance. Kind of funny, can barely write. And pretty much everything else. So, student government, I think one of my big things, I'm serving as the class president for the junior class, so I put a lot of work there. I'm a tour guide for Kite Key. I also do a lot of mentorship, specifically for first-gen low-income students as well as underrepresented students. I identify as both of those. So I do that work for Wharton staff. I've done that for the Penn pre-professional program in the past, as well as Penn First Plus. I'm also in Greek life, so I'm in 2 different fraternities. I'm actually in normal IC fraternity at the Kappa Alpha Society, KA. I also, recently, I just got involved with APO, which is the service fraternity here on campus too. And other than that, I also like doing community service. I'm in a couple of different programs here at Penn too. I'm in the Padilla program. I'm also part of Joseph Wharton Scholars. I'm in a couple of fellowships. I'm in the Maybe Fellowship that just got started this year through Wharton. And I also do work for Penn student agencies as part of work study. So I'm the vice president talent acquisition for them. So I make sure everyone's hired and employed and getting paid. Yeah. And I'm also a TA for Wharton too. So awesome. I'm like everywhere.
Yeah. So you're involved in a lot of things on campus, and you're a leader in a lot of different organizations. So what is your perception of yourself as a leader? How do you like to lead? What do you think the philosophy for leading is?
It's like driving a car, right?
Sure.
So, you are the vehicle, you are a car, and the people, that you're leading, they're inside the car. Okay. You are a vessel of leadership, right? Okay. And there's 2 things I think that are really important for the car, right? The first thing is the steering wheel. The steering wheel is how you direct the car, right? The direction you want it to go.
Sure.
And without the steering wheel, it's going to be really, it's going to be really hard to go anywhere, move in the direction you want. The other part of that is the gas pedal, right?
Of course.
You can't just be pointing people where to go. You can't just be directing them, but you also need to be supporting them and encouraging them. And I think that's kind of the other aspect of leadership for me that I see. So it's kind of like, from the top and from the bottom.
How's it tasting?
Honestly, I felt like the one before that was spicier. Was it sweet?
Honestly, yeah. It's getting tastier though. Given all of these experiences at Penn, what would you say your favorite one thing about Penn is?
Easy 100% the people. I think for me, kind of coming from Central Florida, right? Not the most exciting place in the world. I mean, you have Disney. I've never been to Disney.
That's swamps.
Right, swamps.
Yeah.
No, we don't. Everything's flat. We have gators.
Sure.
Coming to Penn, it was wonderful. I had one of those like, you know, like you watch like a like a Disney Channel like coming of age movie, and the main character's like, wow, like the world's my oyster, right? Like I had one of those moments. I was like,
possibilities.
Literally, yeah. I was like, wow, I can do like pretty much whatever I want, and there's so many people here. It's just crazy to imagine that these people you didn't even know a couple years back are gonna play such a large role in like the rest of everything you do. There's so many people. Everyone's so cool. You ask someone what they do or their past, and they'll tell you all this random stuff like, yeah, you know, I was training for the Olympics. I was on MasterChef, right? I mean, one of my friends was on Jeopardy. I mean, yeah. So it's like all these people do all these cool things, and you can't really tell just by looking at them until you get to know them. And so it's just the fact that everyone's from everywhere, and everyone has such an interesting backstory and background, and they're like involved in all these different things, and they have all these different interests. It's one of those like, wow, like, yeah. So like, it's one of those. So you know, sometimes you feel like the main character, sometimes you don't. And that's one of those moments.
Yeah,
right?
Everyone here is their own.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, let's dive into this next one.
You know, the prayers, thoughts and prayers. Oh, I didn't feel it.
I'm getting a little spicy.
Mm-hmm.
So shifting gears a little bit, now we're gonna do something that I personally love doing. It's complaining about Penn.
Oh my god.
What is your least favorite thing about Penn?
Least favorite thing? I could talk forever.
Sure.
As much as I love Penn, I mean,
no
Penn's kind of messed up. I don't know, maybe people's fear of being genuine or authentic, or even like asking for help. There's no like internal connection, and I think that's the root cause of so many different things people talk about at Penn, like Penn Face, like pre-professional culture. Even today, talking to some seniors, they were like, one of the lessons I had learned, I wasn't focusing on the small things, the things that I found important, like my friends, my family, my relationships. I mean, there's even research that show, like Angela Duckworth has talked about, she said that the happiest people after college were the ones who are still pretty much friends with the people they met in college. That actually form, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about the people. They form those relationships and they're cultivating them and they have them. Compared to people who, you know, may have been very successful, sure, but now they're suffering. Obviously, it's important to have your goals, have your dreams. I mean, you saw me, I'm involved in a lot of good things, but I also try to make time for myself, make time for other people, and people don't do that. And you see that result of that with the mental health and the way that we treat ourselves, we treat other people.
Yeah, it's a perpetual cycle.
It's a perpetual cycle. And then the other thing I think that is so annoying is that we continue to push that.
Yeah.
Like you know, obviously freshmen coming into university don't know any of this.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about Penn. They're just like, they're just happy to be there.
Yeah.
What happened to that, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we have all these seniors and juniors and sophomores telling them, this is how Penn works. This is just how it is. But why?
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be. We never ask ourselves why, but yet we are complaining of these problems, and yet we're teaching them and putting it onto the next generation, and it will continue and continue until there is a breaking point, whether or not we fix it or something horrible happens, and something horrible multiple times.
Alright, we're gonna dive into this next one, which I really like. It's Queen Majesty's cocoa hot sauce.
Okay, alright.
And so throughout your time at Penn, what are some strategies or ways that you've been able to like cope with the stress, decompress when you need to, and general ways to just relax, given the pressure cooker environment that we're in?
Yeah. I think one of the first misconceptions maybe that people have about maybe me in particular, I do a lot of things I do just because I just genuinely enjoy them. I don't think people realize that. I think, and maybe that part of that is the pre-professional culture, right?
Yeah,
like
people do things that they don't like doing.
Exactly.
All the time.
Just for like a job or something.
Yeah.
If I don't really like something, I'm not gonna do it. That's just not what I do. The next thing I think, it's definitely changed over the years, but learning how to be kind and compassionate to yourself. People aren't. I think people really beat themselves up when they make mistakes, or how are you supposed to, you know, be this wonderful person if you're your own worst enemy? It makes no sense.
Yeah. All right.
Oh God, you can already taste it.
I got some on my lips. Okay, how you feeling? Not good.
We want to talk about.
Kind of in line with Signal's mission, we're going to talk about pre-professionalism. And so, I guess to start off, what's your take on pre-professionalism?
Oh yeah.
Benefits, harms, and so forth. What do you think?
I think so. Maybe it's a more nuanced take. I think there's definitely pros and cons to it, but I also think that it could be much better, and sometimes it's unnecessary.
Sure.
I think it does definitely help people, try to be more ambitious, try to push themselves toward those goals, motivate them, right? But the only issue then is when it's both pervasive and invasive. When it's on people who don't like that, and yes, they're in it, and they feel they have to be. They feel pressured by it. It's a system that works for some people, not for others. But yet, when that's the only system in place, there's going to be people who are losing.
Yeah.
Professional itself, it could be viewed as a tool, but then what we're directing it towards isn't always the best, right?
Yeah.
We're directing it towards money, power, status, right? We're not actually directing it towards other more important things like our relationships, our people, our impact on others. And when you leave Penn, you notice what is like this freedom? Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
No one's asking me for my schedule or sending me like a calendar link. Like,
asking me what my internship is at a party.
Yeah, no, it's so crazy because it's like even when we think we're not being pre-professional, we're messing ourselves up like 3 out of the 7 days of the week.
Yeah.
Sometimes 4 or 5, just because of all the stuff during the actual week. Like you go to a party, you're being pre-professional. You are asking people like what their internship is, what they're doing with summer. What does that matter? Like, what do you like? What? Yeah, right. What's up with what music do you like? Now it's like, oh yeah, your cousin works at Evercore, dude. That's sick. Like, can you like plug me?
Yeah.
Bro, like it is a party, and yet people are networking or people like try to professionalize everything, right? One of my favorite professors, he was talking about how there were this group of students, and they were like, yeah, like we think meditation is so cool. We want to meditate. Great. And he's like, yeah, you guys should definitely do it. They're trying a meditation club. Then he was like, why the fuck does there need to be a treasurer for the meditation club? Like, just go meditate. Why is there all that stuff? And it's just like, again, part of the culture, we assume we have to do anything. Even like, I play Magic and we're kind of like trying to start a club and looking for funding. Yeah. But like, everyone's like, what's it gonna be like? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to have all these like weird positions for it. We just play Magic. Like,
it's kind of getting away from the whole point of the organization itself.
There's no need to pre-professionalize everything.
This is personal favorite, The Bomb. I've heard a lot of very bad things about this song.
I don't know why it's his personal favorite. These are bad things.
I'm a masochist.
Oh yeah. Man. He just said he was his favorite. I don't know what he's talking about.
It's given all this pre-professionalism talk, a lot of people here, their value of success is how much money they make, or reaching VP by 30, etc. So, what is your take on success? What do you think is a successful life, a successful career for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's different for everyone, right? I think money is okay, right? I mean, I grew up low income, right? I'm sure a lot of people may relate. There's a lot of emphasis on money. Even my parents, I tell them some of my ideas now, or they're like, like, how much money you're making, or it's not enough. Yeah. And I'm like, what does that matter, right? Yeah. And even like research is like, what is it? After you start making over 70K, like it gets marginally worse. Like you don't really start caring anymore. For me, it's how much impact can I have? How much people can I help during my time here? Not just at Penn, but in the world, right? My whole life, my existence. How many people can I positively impact? Can I empower? Can I leave a legacy? I feel like those skills.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah. When I'm older and I'm like 60, 70, 80, I want to go back and like, I helped a lot of people in my work, in my relationships and things I did, and I'm proud of that. And that's what for me, is a successful life.
All right.
My hands are shaking.
In the whole professional culture, I feel like people kind of get swept up in their ambitions, as we've talked about, right? And they end up not doing things that they would have done, or things that they would like to try. And so, what's kind of one thing that you've been meaning to try, but haven't gotten the chance to, or haven't really got around to, that you want to pursue in the future, just whenever?
Oh man, that is such a good question. I think there's like the more stereotypical answers. So for me, like I've always wanted to skydive.
Okay.
You know, that's on so many people's bucket list. It's basic, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to do it. I think I'm not afraid of heights or anything, but I think it's just something cool to check off.
It's exhilarating.
Yeah, it is. You know, kind of jumping off of a moving plane. I feel like my mental illness would be like, yeah. I don't know. You know, because I'm so busy, I think that I feel like maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I'm not getting to know as many people as I could, or opportunities, and even now, like I'm like a junior, man.
Yeah,
I'm
kind of going by.
Yeah, I mean COVID, and like now I feel like everything's just flying, and I just kind of wish, like, man, I wish I could have maybe talked to more people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not get to know them better. I'm looking forward to maybe once I graduate, taking a little bit more time to myself.
Yeah, and I've also noticed like I dabble in introspection over winter break and summer, and then after that I just never think about my life. I'm always like assignment.
And that's the thing too. I think it kind of speaks to the problem. We always kind of try to jump from one thing to the next. What's the next thing? What is the next thing I do? What's on my calendar? What's on my schedule? Whenever we get that free moment, we start thinking, and say, you know, why not? Like, people get scared.
Yeah.
They can't be alone with their thoughts. They can't be alone with themselves. They get scared.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. I think people need to learn to be comfortable with that, and embrace that, and be introspective and be reflective and think about those things.
Yeah. And I mean, not even like, I'm sure we're both guilty of this as well. Like, you know, with like recruiting and everything. After I finished, I was like, wait,
what do I do now?
Yeah, what is the purpose of life if I'm
Right?
trying to get a job?
Yeah.
Right?
You're so caught up in looking at right in front of the road. Right, what's right there? You don't see down off.
Is tradition around here to dab the last sauce. You don't have to if you don't want to.
We're gonna go for it.
You know,
This might be the last time you see me.
that's why they call it the last dab. Oh, too much. There you go. However much you want to put on there. All right, Derek. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh man. All right. Tell me about your most meaningful childhood memory, or one memory that stands out throughout your childhood. Whatever you.
Sorry, I feel like my throat's closing up.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to breathe. Give me a sec. Do that later. More. You need more? There's none of them. It's tasty. It's tasty. I can barely breathe. Give me a second. Yeah. I'm chugging up right now,
Get the little reality TV footage of like, it's like zoom in.
We might get sanctioned for hazing.
No, he agreed.
I consented.
He agreed.
I consented. I feel so much better now after that.
Yeah. Kind of work through it.
I literally feel like I died and came back to life. Yeah.
Do you feel like the euphoria?
Wow.
I get like endorphins when I eat really spicy food. Like
Endorphin?
endorphins.
Euphoria?
Yes.
I did not feel like Zendaya, that's for sure. Oh, good lord. I was actually.
Last Airbender.
Yeah. I was actually fighting for my life.
Do you remember the last question?
Yes. One of my most favorite memories ever was actually when I was in elementary school. Coming to the States, not really knowing English, made things hard. I immigrated from Vietnam. Growing up in like an immigrant household, like an Asian, Vietnamese, Chinese household, I was not the best kid. In third grade, I had started my very first business. It was like a trading post for school supplies. I did all the planning. I had the best name for it, Derek's Trading Post. You know, simple. The motto, where fairness comes first.
Amazing.
Right? We had it all set up. Third grader. We had all that stuff.
Very
It was the thing of the school. I'm not trying to flex, but it was.
Third grade, you were just talking the town.
I was hustling.
Yeah.
I was grinding back in the third grade. Everyone knew it too, even the teachers, and that's where this is my favorite part. I had made a website for it.
Plug it right now. Give the URL.
www.derekstradingpost.webs.com. It's still up. I've just had it up as a relic. I go back and look at it. I'm like, dang, I was really like that. So I made a website. I actually made my first website before I learned how to tie my shoes. So that was 3rd grade versus 6th grade.
What a statistic on that.
That's crazy. That's crazy, right? Of course, I was like, I can't just have the people in my class. Yeah, I was at that point where I was like, we gotta grow the business. We want more. Went to the library, made a couple, posters on Microsoft Word, on the laptop, printed them out.
Office?
Yeah, of course. Just started distributing them throughout the school. I remember I got called down to the principal's office. She had a copy of it. I was like, what is this?
Oh, got busted.
Right? I busted. I was like, oh, that's my business I started, that's my website. And apparently, the teachers were so curious as to what it was that they were stopping in the middle of class to pull up the website, like in front of their whole class, and being like, what is this?
Yeah.
And that's why I got called out of the principal's office, just because I was hustling so hard.
You shut the school down with the grind.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I still remember that because I think I started crying. She's like, you can't use the school resources for your own business. And I'm like, that's why I did it, because it's free. I don't have to pay for printing. I'm like a 4th grader. I got like $2 in my name, right?
Derek, want to take the time. Thank you for coming on and braving through these wings.
Oh yeah.
Just 1 minute plug. Anything you want to tell the people? Tell the masses.
Tell the masses. I'm just happy to be here. Shout out all the people who support me. Shout out the people who don't. I know you'll be watching this one too. Watching me suffering, crying, throwing up. But also I want to plug, just really grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the Penn community in general. The past couple of years, I know it's been hard for everyone, and I do want to acknowledge that, but I'm just really happy to continue doing the work that I do, as well as happy with your support and just doing what I can. So thank you.